Hey everybody, Drew McLellan here from Agency Management Institute. This week I hung out with about 20 agency owners in their live peer group for 2 full days, and beyond that, talked with a lot of other agency owners, and as always, there were a lot of questions. So some of the questions that came up this week were, number one, how do I structure my compensation, that mix between my salary and how I take pay or profit out of the business? So what's the best structure, the ratio between those two numbers that is best? Number two, how are other agencies finding top talent right now? A lot of agencies are hiring and they are looking for really great talent, and they are wondering where everybody else is going to find them. And the third question is, how should I, the agency owner, structure my day? Like, how should my time be best spent? And that's the question we're going to answer this week. So the reality is, for all of us, oftentimes, no matter what we have planned for the week, agency ownership is really about firefighting. We walk in the office, the minute we walk in the office, we are putting out fires, and we just run from big fire to big fire to big fire, assessing the damage and trying to figure out how we are going to put out the next fire. And often we never get to our to-do list till the end of the day. Or for some of you, you're spending so much time in the business, serving clients in internal meetings, that you have very little time to work on the business. So the ideal way you should be spending your week or your month is this. And I will acknowledge, underline the word ideal. Many of you aren't here yet, and many of you have a ways to go to get there. But making incremental change to get closer to this ideal week would be the best thing you can do for your business. So 50% of your time, week, month, however you want to measure it, 50% of your time should be spent on biz dev. And when I say biz dev, that could mean anything from prepping for a pitch. It could mean building out your content to be an authority and to be able to sell from a position of authority. It could be working on your nano list, your targeted list of 25 prospects that you are going to pursue relentlessly until you actually land that client. It could be you out networking at a trade show or an event where people that you want to target as business prospects are hanging out as well. So there's a wide range of activities that fit under biz dev, but 50% of your week should be spent in the pursuit of new clients in some way. And then about 20% of your time should be spent with the team, mentoring the team, doing one-on-ones, maybe leading a lunch and learn inside your agency, but you're investing a ton of time in especially the tier of people directly below you. So depending on your agency size, if you have 50 people, it's going to be pretty tough for you to spend a lot of time with everyone. But whether you have 5 people or 50 people, you absolutely can spend a significant amount of time with the people who are directly below you on the org chart. So either they're your department heads, or if you're an agency of 3 people, they're everybody on your team. But spending time with them in one-on-ones, mentoring and coaching them, answering their questions, and helping them get better at their job. So we're at 70% already. Then you need to spend about 10% of your time on running the business. When you have a great financial dashboard and you've got everything sort of cooking the way it should inside your agency, you don't really need to spend more than, on any given week, 10% of your time. Or it may, let's say at tax time, or there may be certain times where you exceed that 10%. But for the most part, if you've got your systems and processes built, and you've got a financial dashboard that tells you at a glance whether or not you're healthy, you should be able to spend about 10% of your time actually running the business. Then you need to spend about 10% of your time doing what I call client love. So these are not client meetings. This is not client work. This is you spending time sort of CEO to CEO with the highest level of person that you have a relationship with inside your clients' organizations. So this might be you taking them out to play golf or having dinner with them or a drink, but it's really about you hanging out with them and finding out how the agency is doing. It's about you building a relationship with them that is not about the day-to-day work, but is about the business of their business. And then the last 10% you need to save for client emergencies. Every once in a while, whether we want to or not, we're going to get pulled into daily client work of some kind. But usually for many of you, those proportions are completely backwards, where you're spending the lion's share of your day inside client emergencies, putting out fires, or just day-to-day client work because you're still the day-to-day contact inside a client. Your agency can't grow, cannot scale, as long as you have a lot of responsibility on the day-to-day side with clients. So 50% biz dev, 20% mentoring your team, and then divide that last 30% up between running the business, client love, and client emergencies. That's the ideal. Does anybody hit it 100%? I don't think so. But even if you can get to it 70% or 80%, I think you're going to find how significant that shift can be for your business. So begin to map it out. One of the best tricks to actually make this happen is to not be in the office one day a week. Now, some of you may be working virtually right now, so this may be for another time, but you can be unavailable even if you're working from home. So let's say you're back in the office. What that looks like is, hey, Tuesdays are biz dev day for me. I'm not going to be in the office. I have one agency owner who owns a cabin about an hour away from his home. He goes to the cabin on biz dev day and he tunes out the rest of the world, and he's heads down for about 8 hours, making phone calls, sending emails, working on pitches, whatever it is that is on his to-do list from a biz dev point of view. That's what he does that day. I have another agency owner who goes to a study carrel at their local library, and again, turns off her phone, turns off her email notifications, and she is heads down for 8 hours. Steps out when she needs to make a phone call, but other than that, she is focusing completely on biz dev. I have another agency owner who can't get away for a full day. Her agency is smaller, they're younger, and they need her presence more often. So she takes 2 mornings, Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, and she does not go in the office. She stays at home, puts her kids on the bus, stays at home, and for those 4 or 5 hours each morning, she is dedicated to biz dev. And again, phone off, email notifications off. Everyone can survive without you for 4 hours. So you're going to have to carve out the time to do this. You have to diligently make this happen. But when you do, I think you're going to be surprised and delighted at the results. So I acknowledge and accept that you're not going to hit the ideal, but it doesn't mean you can't get closer. All right? I'll see you next week.